Poppin', my fellows. Talk time. Talk time. You see this chair here. Why is there a chair there? Why is there a chair there? I'm the only important person here. Why is there a chair there? Well, you clicked on the video, so you know I have a guest star. You've seen him before. Gah!
Whoa!
Roommate Blake Jones! What? Anyway, yeah, so he's here. That was cool. I like that. Topics of the day. Kind of controversial, we'll see. Is water wet? That's a big issue. Blake, explain.
Now see, this is a very common controversial topic in the internet, okay? And so the thing is no, water itself is not wet, okay? And let me explain to you exactly why. Everybody who thinks it is might be a degenerate. So here's the easy explanation. Let's say you have a fire, right? Is the fire on fire? I don't think so. No, it's the wood that's on fire. So therefore, water is not wet. Because the things that have adjectives aren't themselves the adjectives. Common sense, people. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
So, being not a degenerate myself, I totally agree with this whole conclusion. If you disagree, comment. But you're wrong. So I'm sorry, you're wrong. That's about it, actually, because we both agree, because we both smart.
Yep.
Crunchy or smooth peanut butter. Okay. There is not, in my opinion, it's not a black and white solution. Because depending on the situation, you have to use creamy or crunchy. So, like, in a sandwich, would you use creamy or crunchy?
You'd use creamy.
And a smoothie, would you use creamy or crunchy?
Probably creamy.
Really? I would use crunchy in a smoothie.
See, okay, but here's the thing, is I'm biased towards creamy because I don't like crunchy things in, like, soft things, right?
Do you not put, like, tortilla chips or potato chips in your sandwiches?
Occasionally, but it depends. I don't particularly care for banana nut muffins, specifically because of the nut that's in them, you know? It's because it's that crunchiness and just like it kind of takes away from the overall like softness of the muffin. And you gotta have soft muffins.
You gotta have soft muffins.
Yes.
Back on track, what the heck? So you said creamy for both?
Yes, yeah, I do creamy for both. Because I would only have creamy peanut butter in a perfect society.
That's just wrong, I'm sorry. You've been... That happened. Right. In conclusion, my opinion, smooth, sandwich, peanut... wow, start over. My opinion, smooth for everything, but crunchy for this... smoothie, for smoothies. You gotta have some sort of freaking texture in there. It can't just be liquid. You gotta have some sort of solid in there to balance it out. That's why, like, sometimes it's nice to get like a little chunk of strawberry in there.
You can have some thick peanut butter, and then that's like some.
But
like,
that doesn't add texture. That just adds like some slime.
Yeah, but you don't need like texture to it. You don't need that crunch. No.
You need a little bit of crunch. It's like
you can get
would you
crunch
prefer
from
soggy
other
cereal or
things.
crunchy cereal? Would you prefer crunchy
What?
cereal?
Those two things are not comparable. No.
Just the mixture of texture between just the milk and the crunchy makes it great.
Let me ask you this question. Okay. Whenever you get a bowl of cereal, right? And you add in your cereal first, right? Because that's the...
Okay, yeah.
So you add in your cereal first, okay? Then you put the milk in, right? Do you just start eating it?
Yeah.
You don't mix it up?
No.
What?
No.
Are you serious?
Like, keep some of it dry though, so I can have the wet from the bottom and then mix it in the same spoon with some of the dry.
See, I just like it. If you have it like all wet, you gotta keep it consistent, right? No random like nuts in muffins, okay?
We're not gonna agree on that. The biggest question, the one we actually talked about yesterday, and the reason why I actually want to do this in the first place, is a hot dog a sandwich? See, I've had this conversation way too many times, and I really wish I hadn't. So,
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I think it really comes down to like what your definition of a sandwich is.
What defines a sandwich?
What does define a sandwich? Can we post the definition right here?
No. What's your definition of a sandwich?
Oh, what's my definition of a sandwich? Okay.
You tried to pull a me.
My definition of a sandwich would be, I guess you'd have to have a meat product of sorts, right? Because I mean, a grilled cheese is a sandwich,
Yeah,
but
grilled cheese sandwich.
But you don't really classify it as a sandwich, do you?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
It's a grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay, so grilled cheese is a sandwich, so you don't have to have any meat products. You can have pretty much whatever
But
you
preferably,
want on
okay,
there.
is it peanut butter and jelly? Is that a sandwich?
Well, that's a sandwich. Okay, that makes sense. So what exactly is it? Just two things, or like a thing between two slices of bread, or like continuous bread? Is that like all that sandwich has to be?
So let's go to the English term first. Okay, whenever you say you're sandwiched between two things, those two things usually aren't bread. I would question you if you were in between two
Right.
bread.
But that's sandwich metaphorically,
Right.
Not culinarily.
But the term and idea in general is that something between two pieces makes it a sandwich.
Right. So, but culinarily, we would specifically refer to this as bread, or a wheat product of some sort.
Yeah. Okay, I can concede
Right.
that.
But here's where it's interesting, right? And I'd like to make a distinction because, so first of all, no matter how like deep you dive into definitions, I don't think that like if you're from like a society that is not in anarchy, that hot dogs should not be considered sandwiches in any means, okay? Because when you think about it and you actually use like a clear mind, it doesn't make sense. Let's talk about how you eat hot dogs, okay?
Okay.
Because I think that it's somewhat different from how you would go about eating sandwiches. Essentially, right, you have a hot dog bun, okay? Now, you can slice it a couple ways if you want to, right? But the way that you're going to see it is you're going to see it cut down like this, right? And so, you put the hot dog in the top, right? And you eat it. When you eat it, the slice is on the top, right? But if you eat like a sandwich, like he's obviously going to talk about it being like a submarine sandwich or a hoagie, if you might. Okay. Cut is going to be on the side, and that, my friend, is the difference between the two. And that is quite the significant difference because it really relates to your overall enjoyment of the meal.
The only difference between the two that you just introduced was the rotation 90 degrees to the top.
Yes.
There's no difference whatsoever.
But except for the 90-degree
So
rotation.
it's like saying if it's an upside down sub that makes it a tenth instead of a sandwich. That's just not a thing.
Well, I mean, I
No,
don't know.
a sub and a hot dog are the same thing. The only difference is the manner of which you eat it.
Okay. So that's, I mean, but that's technically not the same thing. Right?
Incorrect. It's physically
No.
the same thing.
Because, okay, but would you classify like cheese as like queso, right?
Yeah.
Versus like cheese cubes? Would you classify those as two different
Those are the same
things?
thing. It's just,
Right, but the manner that you eat them is different. Therefore, they're different things.
Those are the same thing.
But they're not exactly the same.
For you northerners out there, queso is melted cheese.
Oh yeah, I preface that.
Yeah, we're cultured down here in the south.
If you really want to be stupid, like trying to call hot dog sandwiches, you can get away with a whole bunch of really stupid things, right? For example, like if you really want to go general with it, you can start calling like lasagna a sandwich. Okay. And
Technically, it is.
let me break that down for you in case you can't figure it out. Okay. So let's say you have
He's calling all
lasagna.
stupid. Let's get him back by subscribing.
It's you got your lasagna. It's probably something like this. I don't know, like this size. Okay. And you have like these layers of these like thin sheets of pasta. Okay. And then in between it you have some marinara sauce. Okay. And so technically, if you only had like a pasta sauce pasta, I mean, you could consider that a sandwich because, as we've already described, you don't have to technically have meat in between them for it to be a sandwich.
Right.
And it technically doesn't necessarily have to be bread, just as long as it's a wheat product and it's edible.
Right.
That probably satisfies that argument. Okay. So, but I mean, there's also some further generalizations that you could make, like. You might be tempted to just say, oh, well, because it's sauce, right? I might be tempted to call lasagna a Pop-Tart, right? It might actually be closer to a Pop-Tart than it is a sandwich. If you really break it down. If you think about it, right, you do the mathematics, okay? You have the layers, right? And then you have the sauce in between, okay? And the sauce, really, what is it in a Pop-Tart? It's basically just like jam, okay? And so that's just like fruit juice with like sugar and a bunch of other crap that I don't know about culinary science. So basically, if you have a piece of lasagna, like I just described, with only two things of pasta, right? And you have the sauce in between, that's the real key component there, the sauce, okay? Because it basically acts as a jelly substitute
That's it.
in that situation, making it a Pop-Tart.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I mean, I would basically kind of describe it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh no! You know what? No. I take it back. No. Lasagna is sandwiches, okay? And the other thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about ravioli. I just thought about this, alright? So ravioli is actually probably closer to a Pop-Tart.
Oh my god!
You see along the sides, it's got like the curves around it, you know? And it's basically just like a pocket of contained sauce, okay? It's like a sauce pocket, right? It's a Pop-Tart because it's just a pocket that contains sauce, like a Pop-Tart is, right? And a Pop-Tart is kind of, it's like a pastry, basically. Or I guess it is a pastry, okay? But really the only difference is like the sweetness versus like the savory quality of it. And so, I mean, but is that really enough to classify them as two separate things? I don't think so. Do you have any things that you want to add to this highly big brain conversation?
So your concluding argument in terms of is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh right, yes. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I wouldn't classify it as such, but you know, I'm not going to
classify it as a sub.
I'm more tempted to call it a sub than a sandwich, but I mean technically a sub is just a sub category of a sandwich. So
Now hear me out. Is a hot dog a taco? Let us know in the comments. This has been Boof Resolved. This is... You say your name.
oh, Blake.
Blake! Roommate, roomie, you saw him before.
Yeah, I have a roommate, guys. This is Blake. Just so you know, he's gonna be here.
Maybe be back depending on...
I'd love to be back.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
he's gonna be back. Yeah? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Comment, like, don't dislike, share, bell, subscribe, and...
Just let me say it.
Go ahead.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.